How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at Fear Street Switched. This is number 31, written by R.L. Stine, and originally came out in May of 1995. And look at that cover. Gotta be a classic horror paperback cover. Big lightning bolt, the two girls in the same dress holding hands with even more lightning coming out. It's a cool classic cover. I really do like it, and even though this copy I have is a little beat up, when I saw it at the used bookstore I had to grab it up, because this is one of the series that I'd been really wanting to read. Not only is it a fan favorite, it's R.L. Stine's favorite, so I had to check it out. And I knew the base premise, the idea that there's an artifact in the Fear Street woods that when you use it, you can switch bodies with someone else, and it turns out she switched bodies with a criminal. R.L. Stine beat Vince Vaughn to the punch there, now didn't he? But it really, the thing that surprised me is there is the body swap element here, and it is interesting, but you really could have done a whole lot more just body swap stuff. You know, I was expecting it to be used way more and her to have to put on more of a face pretending she's the friend, but even though the body swap is there, it's more of almost like a bad dream or a paranoia thriller. To be honest, at times this feels like R.L. Stine making a Dario Argento movie. The idea that she can't find her friend with her body, she goes to people, she thinks she can trust them and she can't, and they start to say strange things, and she's just running around Shadyside. People are after her, and it really does feel like a nightmare or something. You really don't know what's going on. Everything becomes so strange and twisted, and there is some more kills in here than you might expect. In particular, there's this one kill with this character you wouldn't have thought would die, but she goes into his house, finds him dead, and it's quite gruesome, and then it gets this callback later on in the book when things are going somehow even more off the rails. Yeah, no, not that it's insanely violent or anything, but there are some crazy moments in here, and when it finally gets to the end, you understand what happened, and you almost want to reread through the book to kind of put everything in place, but it ends on such a dark and creepy note, those last few pages when you realize, oh no, that's where we are. I can see why this is a fan favorite. Yeah, it's definitely an experience. It's definitely one of the crazier books. I mean, there is that Fear Street murder mystery stuff that's in a lot of them, but done in such a weird and strange way. It's definitely one of the better ones. Here's hoping Simon Pulse reprints this soon. In order to analyze this further, let's talk a bit about the plot. I won't be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what this book's about. No major spoilers, but some analysis. We open up with Nicole. Nicole has strict parents, a little overbearing, and she has a boyfriend, but right off the bat, the boyfriend breaks up with her. So it's a particularly bad day for Nicole, and she's brooding when her best friend Lucy shows up and says, hey, let's go into the Fear Street woods and switch bodies. And she doesn't really know what to make of this. That's such an odd thing for someone to say. But Lucy explains that her grandfather told her about the Changing Wall, an artifact in the Fear Street woods. It's this wall, it's all crumply and old looking. You climb to the top, you hold hands with someone, and you jump off the edge, and you'll switch bodies. And they say it was built by cultists so they could switch bodies with innocent victims and pin their crimes on other people. that's a dark thought. So we're starting off with this really interesting concept. They go into the woods, they find it, and surprise, surprise, it actually does work. She wakes up from the fall looking at herself, and yeah, it's this bit of an interesting moment where she's like, I don't know if I want to trade back because you have such a better life than I do. I'll just be so happy. You know, you have a boyfriend. What are we going to do about that? You have much more relaxed parents. And Lucy, in Nicole's body, says, don't worry about that. Take my life. Just take it. And that's when she gets home to Lucy's house and finds that Lucy has murdered her parents. A graphic murder reveal. And then she goes up to the room and it's mostly cleaned out. And there's a confession letter right there on the desk. And she realizes that Lucy was supposed to be my friend, but did something very cruel, very cold. She's set me up for this murder, and now she's going to steal my body and live happily ever after scot-free while I go to prison for this. And yeah, it's a really dark concept. Now, because she steps into this murder right off the bat, we don't get too much of that body swap goofiness that you might have expected from this book. I was expecting like a whole day at school where they're just pretending to be each other and getting into wacky shenanigans. But no, dark murder and paranoia right off the bat. And once she's out, it's super hard to even find Lucy, and some of the friends will say strange things, and she starts to suspect, are they in on this? Are they teaming up with Lucy to help figure this out? Who can I trust? And you think, okay, I can surely trust this person at least. And then next thing you know, they're calling the police on you. And she's running around while two mysterious men in gray suits are after her. And it really does become a story about paranoia, a story about being a fugitive. And you really have no idea who you can trust or what exactly is going on. And more people keep dying, if that's not enough. Yeah, like I said, more people die in this book than your average Fear Street books. And that includes some fun over-the-top moments, especially when you get to the end. There's some absolutely crazy stuff. And again, I won't spoil it, but when you find out what exactly was going on with Lucy, it is quite the shoe to drop. And again, a super nice, super dark ending to this one. And I thought it was really cool. So I can totally see why this is a fan favorite. I can see why it's Stine's favorite. It may not be the most goofy body switching shenanigans out there like most of the books in the body switching genre, but boy, is it, yeah, like I said, almost a Dario Argento movie, and I think it is pretty fun, pretty crazy, and pretty over the top. So yeah, can definitely recommend this one, and here's hoping I get to more of these pretty soon. I've liked all the Fear Street books that I've read, so hopefully I'll get to more of these soon. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Fear Street playlist, where you can see my review for other Fear Street books. I've covered the first couple of them in the beginning bind-up. I've covered the cheerleaders. There's quite a bit of them in here. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.